ABC. 1, 2, 3. Jamari. I hit you with a 3.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome, welcome, welcome to another session of Soul Therapy Live. If you hear voice but don't see a face, don't worry about it because it's the producer talking, a man behind the scenes. Welcome everybody to Soul Therapy Live podcast where we talk about relevant topics and a lot of things that's going on in our community and beyond. And so as we move forward, we're going to open up with a scripture that's going to come from out of Psalms 133 verse 1. It says, "Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity." We're trying to be unified in this day and time. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in the world, and we're going to have our two hosts today talk about it at length. But first, let's go through our announcements and our sponsors. The very first sponsor is going to be through Truth Learning Academy. Truth Learning Academy is located at 350 Anchor Road, Suite 1050 in the beautiful city of Castleberry, Florida, where we take infants, pre-K, and we also have summer camp. Speaking of summer camp, from June the 5th to August the 4th, from the ages of 6 to 12, we can take your children on field trips, help them play with arts and crafts, engage with music and dance, swimming, as well as many fun games. I believe they went to Monkey Joe's just this week, and they had a wonderful, wonderful time. And so if you're interested in participating with us, join us at 407-807-0701 and give us a call, or you can visit our website at truthlearningacademy.org/Camp Vision with more information. The next particular line item that we have is that we're going to talk about Winsley Media. Winsley Media is the individuals that are behind the scenes. They are enjoying some good time away at a religious-based conference in Dallas, Texas. And so them as well as other church members are enjoying their time out there. Make sure that you learn something because they have taught us quite a bit here in regards to media. So shout out to Al Winsley and Winsley Media. If you need things in regards to weddings, videos, and more, come and check us out. Next up, we have 0 to 100 Automotive, which is owned by none other than Dewan Lewis. He is your resident mechanic. And guess what, everybody? He has not only a mobile shop that he could come and fix your vehicle, but he also has a place where you could drop your car off at as well. And so this is a great blessing, especially for many businesses from people of color. And then also a quick shout out to Broken Plate, as well as many of the other businesses that are part of our ministry. But finally, we also want to give a shout out to Divine Truth Christian Center, which is the host ministry of the podcast. And we also would like to invite you out for service this Sunday, where we'll be talking about things that's dealing with emotional and spiritual health, and also to be able to talk about things that you deal with individually so that you can bring healing to your family and restoration to those that are around you. So join us at 10:30 a.m. or on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock p.m. where we have My Time with God prayer service. We're also doing our podcast that you'll see tonight, as well as many other activities that's going on in the community. And now, none other than our friends, our cousins, Amir and Mel is in the house. Boogie, all of the aliases, Melly Mel is in the house. Take it away, gentlemen.
Come on now.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing today out there?
We here.
All right, so we're gonna start off real quick with the topic of the day. And my topic of the day is Shannon Sharpe leaving undisputed.
Whoa. Topic or current events?
Current events.
Current events.
Current events,
Yeah,
right.
because this is happening
this is
right
the topic
now.
of
This is
current
like real
event.
time. Yeah.
Yes. And we're gonna get into why he's leaving. It was a tweet. Well, I'm not sure exactly why he's leaving. This is what I'm thinking the reason why he's leaving.
Yeah.
Because he didn't come out and say exactly why he's leaving yet.
Which I feel like is a really good thing.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
Keep everything down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he will be leaving at the end of the finals. When the finals is over, that'll be his last time on Undisputed.
Mm-hmm.
And he will also be taking Club Shay Shay off of Fox Network with him. So
I didn't know he was shooting that on Fox.
Yeah, bro.
I didn't know they was backing that up. Okay.
But the reason I feel that he's leaving is because of they had a little altercation on their
live
show.
air. Yeah.
And then the tweet that Skip kind of went under fire with was it said,
You got it?
yeah, I got it pulled up right here actually. It says, So the background of it, DeMar Hamlin, it was a Buffalo and Cincinnati playoff game. Was it a playoff game?
No,
or
it was a
it
regular season.
The regular season
Regular
game,
season.
the last to get where they wanted to be in the playoffs.
Mhm.
DeMar went into cardiac arrest on the field, and this is what Skip had tweeted. He said, "No doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game, but how? This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant." Like, you really
Just negated everything that just happened.
you feel me? Like, that
Yeah.
man died on the field.
And you know what? You know why I feel like it sound even worse, man. And no offense to nobody, but that's a white man saying that about a black man.
Yeah.
You feel me? So
Yeah.
like it's just so easy to feel away. You know what I mean?
And it wasn't sympathetic at all.
It was not. There was no sympathy in anything you
To
said.
his family, to the football team, and you could see it on everybody, even the opposite team, Cincinnati. You had people out there crying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you just you ain't fill the room out.
Nah, if you think about it, man, the whole league came together at that point.
That's a fact, except for you.
And he was the oddball.
You feel me?
He
And
was
then
the oddball. And
which-
then the next day, my bad. What you was
Nah,
gonna say?
wait, exactly. Next
Okay,
day,
so the next day when they
Shannon
went on
come.
air, and that's what I had recognized, right? Because I didn't know that until real time when it was happening the next day.
Mhm.
And then I seen how Shannon was trying to explain himself.
But that was the day after.
Yes.
Like, so the next day he didn't come.
Oh yeah, you right about that. He
didn't
was
come at
absent the
all.
next
Yeah,
day
Yeah. So the day after that,
when he came back to
Yeah,
work.
yup,
Yeah,
yup.
and when I was looking at that interaction, you know what I saw, man, was like, if me and you got into a spat,
Mhm.
I feel like in our conversation, you have to have your time, I have to have my time. And if you take over my time, then I'm gonna feel away.
yeah. You
I'm
wanna
already
get mines
feeling
out.
the way.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I
feel
mean?
you,
So
yeah.
I feel I saw that happening on live air, and I seen Shannon's face. And then like we was talking about, it was a time prior to that when he was talking about Tom Brady and Skip. Skip was talking about Tom Brady.
That's a fact. Yeah.
And he was talking about his career, and then Shannon Sharp was going to say something, and I think Skip kind of like downplayed his career, and Shannon got upset. Like, you really gonna downplay my whole career just to big up this man? And what did he say?
Yes.
Yes,
He was sizing that man up.
yeah, you feel me?
Yes.
Yes, you know what I mean. And at that point, I was just like, "Yo, are y'all a team or what? What is this?" You know what I mean? I don't even know how to look at that situation.
Yeah, that was tough, man. So
And
just him going through that, you know what I mean? Like, I did big up Shanny because a lot of us couldn't take that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that was, in both instances, I was real disrespectful, and you really just came at me on live TV, and you know
Yeah.
I can't do nothing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But sit here and talk to you. But yeah, that's my current event, man.
I commend on how he handled the situation from start to finish, and even how he's handling it now, because he's not
saying
really
nothing.
out there with
Yeah,
it,
he
you
ain't
know.
saying nothing about the situation. Yeah.
He just on his grind, right? But then, all right, if we keep going in, because you talking about Shannon, let's bounce off of Shannon, right?
Mhm.
The Lakers just got eliminated.
Hmm.
Where they lost 4-0, right?
Yeah, they got sweat.
And that hurt my heart. That hurt my heart so bad. I cried in the bathroom. I went in the bathroom so nobody can see it.
I felt great about it. I'm
Is it-
sorry.
Sheesh.
Pastor just gonna come in with that, ain't he?
I was throwing shade from the back.
So then let's talk about it, man. What you think Bron gonna do, man? Like, you think Bron finna come back next year, or is it done?
Oh, he's definitely coming back. I feel that's for sure. Like, I feel like he's gonna come back, and his sole purpose at this point, besides winning the championship, is playing with Bronny. Like, so,
Yeah.
and he said that multiple times. Yeah, I know. What, he 38 now?
Yes.
Like, you still out there balling, though. You not you not no bench player. You know what I'm saying? You can still go out there and give me 28 and 10
28 and 10.
with eight assists. You know what I'm saying?
28 and 10.
But you just been around so long, like, they don't really still see the greatness. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that greatness, it ain't as shiny as it once was, but you still great.
Did
Still great.
you see did you see the meme or whatever, the picture that they had with DeMar Hamlin guarding him and then DeMar Hamlin coaching him?
Yes.
You seen that?
Yes,
That's
yes.
that's a what, an
Yeah,
18,
yeah.
19 year difference right there, and it's
Yeah.
crazy how it all comes full circle. Like, I think LeBron ain't finna leave the money on the table. I think what he finna make, like $40-50 million this year,
Yeah.
$56 million or something like that.
We got a
He ain't
lot more
finna
money
leave that
coming
on the
to him.
table.
Nah, not at all.
You
And
know?
his son is going to school up there too.
Yes.
Exactly. At USC.
Yeah,
USC,
USC.
that's right, man.
Mhm.
Yep.
USC. Yeah, and then he just investing into that other school, right? that is what's his name? Bryce is finna go to,
Yes.
because he's finna transfer from where he was at. So it's like all those intangibles right there. It's like, nah, I don't think he's gonna leave, man.
Staying in LA, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but
I get him being tired though, but
I can see, but
know
you
what I'm
could see it in that last game.
yeah.
Going into halftime, he was like, man, they don't have the mentality that I got. That's what I saw on his face, because Bron was playing. You know what I mean? But he was just the only one out there.
What's going all out, man? But from where they came from to where they were,
That was
that's a great season.
leaps and bounds, which is why I feel like the Lakers will be kind of strong next year
Oh yeah.
if they keep the pieces that they need. You know what I mean?
And I'm not gonna go too far, but Chris Paul out there right now. We gonna see where he at. He did. They just the Suns just waved him. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh, they
That
did.
man on his last leg.
Literally,
Literally, yeah.
literally, literally. If you
Stay
cross
away.
Chris Paul wrong, his leg gonna fall off.
And it be at the end of the season too. It's always like in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Always like right there before you get to the.
Y'all think he's
championship.
gonna get a ring?
No.
Depends how long you stay around. If he don't mind coming off the bench, he can go somewhere and be an asset off the bench.
Chris Paul can go somewhere and be an asset off the bench. Where would he go and get a ring at?
You gotta have to go to a top contender and not get as much bread as he is now.
If Chris Paul got a ring, that'd be like Jimmy Butler getting the ring this year. It's just gonna come out of left field.
I can see him going to the Bucks.
Oh, oh.
What was that? That wasn't. You going for Denver?
No, I'm just
Oh.
surprised at the Miami comment. And you
Yes.
from the crib.
I'm from the crib. I'm from the
Hold
crib.
up. So what you saying?
Well, that's a great segue, Mel. Let's lead into the next current event topic.
Let's do
Who
that.
you think gonna win tonight?
Miami.
Oh,
Come
okay.
on, man.
This is what I say, right? Miami has to win tonight. If they lose tonight, it's over. If they win tonight, then the ball's in their court.
I think they're gonna win though.
Like, I think they need to win both games in Miami.
Yeah, they gotta win every game at home. That's
Yeah.
what I said. I said it off rip. They gotta win every game at home. And like when I hear people talking about Denver, like they do have a great team, but they also, when you go to Denver, it's a different elevation. It's a different atmosphere,
A mile high.
breathing wise. You know what
The
I'm saying?
mile high,
Like
yeah.
you can't breathe. Like period. It's not like you don't have you can't sustain the like running up and down the court and all that. Like the air is so thin, you just can't breathe up there. And they
You
used to
ever,
that.
you ever been to Denver?
Nah, I ain't been to Denver.
Oh, it's different. When they say
You
it's
been?
different, I've been. It's
Oh,
different, man.
man.
And I was there for like 4 days. By the 4th day, I was so fatigued and tired. And all we was doing was walking around and chilling. You know what I'm saying?
I plan on going though, so we gonna have to see about that.
Yeah, man. So like, here's the thing. This is what I believe, right? What I like what they did last game, and I said this before. Said it at the shop. I was like, they should start Kevin Love and put him on Jokic because they need the size. You know what I'm saying? If you think about Denver, they got what 7'1", 6'10", 6'10", or 6'8".
Everybody big.
You know what I mean? Then you got Jamal Murray.
Murray
and
ain't
then,
no joke, boy.
and Murray is not no joke, man. You know, and his like Murray is so consistent. You
He
know what I
is. He is. He made me respect him
mean? Yeah.
because I was like, we not worried about him at
'Cause-
all. And that was for when he was that was the Lakers situation.
Yeah.
I'm like, all we got to worry about is Jokic. Murray came out destroying him
Did the thing.
by himself. I'm like, oh,
Did
damn.
the thing.
But Mel, I gotta. Okay, producers know. Beep beep. All right. I heard someone say that when it came to Miami, that everything had to go right in order for them to win that last game. Everything,
Yes.
and that that the Nuggets didn't really start playing until the fourth quarter, so they just had a quote unquote off night.
Well, the Nuggets was.
This is what the street's saying. The street's saying that your squad is suspect.
Well, because I think what Miami did in that last game was coming out of halftime. They stole the momentum because they was down 15.
Mhm.
They stole that momentum and then they never looked back. And I think Denver may have just kind of just let it go. They was playing. It could have went left easily, you know what I mean? But when Denver was trying to get it back, Miami, Jimmy Butler, that's when he came in. Because he didn't start really going until those last few minutes of the
Jimmy
game.
Buckets. He ain't really been doing all that well these playoffs, but he been keeping the team in there. So I
Yeah.
feel like if he does better, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm. So if he gives you those first 3 games of Boston, Jimmy,
oh, it's over.
yeah.
It's over. Like I don't see nobody. I don't see nobody stopping that, man. And by the way, I do see you got the colors on too. You repping the colors.
Oh, yeah, I got it on now.
I'm
You
saying.
know, the pastor was over there getting on me, but I got it on.
I had to roast it just a little bit smaller. Cornish hen roast.
Yeah, you know, I tried to find my hat, but I couldn't find the hat. I would have been Miami'd out today. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know, we're gonna get off these current events, man. We also got a visitor in the room. Barry, I see you. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you coming through, brother. So we're gonna get off the current events and we're gonna get into what the pastor like to call it, wave after wave. You understand what I'm saying, man?
Wave after wave.
Now, Pastor, this first question I asked, I'm gonna kind of lean more towards you because I remember that you said this in that last podcast. So I kind of wanted you to elaborate on that a little bit because when people think about the saying, they'll probably look at it and see it very differently. Like, oh man, I think I'm finna get paid to go be with this girl. But you spoke on arranged marriages. Like, what was your thought process behind that?
All right, let me go ahead and do this first. And I get it to my little amen corner right over here.
Mm. He got a whole office over there. You see that?
Amen corner right over here.
My man
All
got
right,
a
so
section.
producers going to rotate the camera around. Am I looking good? Baby, do you love me? So the question was arranged marriages and do I believe in it? In a sense, yes, I do believe in it, and here's the reason why. Not in the sense of blind dates, like normally that y'all would like see when it comes to on the TV shows and things like nature. But I do believe, in a sense, like unofficially, that it's important for the young lady and the young man that are coming together for you to know their family backgrounds, right? I'm dealing with this with my sons right now because while I want them to have a good future, if I know that they're involved with a young lady and I know that they're starting to get serious, then I want to know what their family dynamic is like. Just like I want to know, they should want to know what our family dynamic is like because it'll have a lot of great insight into how the person was raised and who they're dealing with. Because when you marry somebody, you don't just marry the individual, you marry their entire family, whether they're present or absent. So even if mama or daddy was not there, because another thing I was thinking about is that sometimes when you are raised in a single parent household, we assume that the person who stayed is always innocent. And that's not always the case. And so it's good for you to have a good picture because sometimes, these are the thoughts that sometimes go through young ladies' mind. Like, okay, who's going to pay for the wedding? I thought traditionally that daddy's supposed to pay for the wedding. Okay, what about your side of the family? What about grandkids? Whose house they're going to go over? Who's going to babysit them? All of those things and all of those dynamics are very important. And I believe that you don't have to have a rich family, but you do need to have a good, solid one that's going to be supportive of the relationship. And when things go south and the kids want to come and stay with mama and daddy because they had an argument, mama and daddy will have enough sense because they've had a good relationship or at least a good outlook on the relationship to say, hey, I appreciate you sitting here for a little while, but you need to go home to your husband. You need to go home to your wife. So it should be a good family unit because, sometimes in closing, especially if you grew up a certain way, you'll have a tendency to want to isolate yourself. So it's just me and her, and then we're just going to elope and disappear.
Yeah.
But then you're going to struggle out there. Either you're going to have to be financially sound if you do that, because you got to pay for babysitters and daycare. It's several different dynamics. But I believe the arrangement should be that both families, because once those two people come together, now you're going to bring those family dynamics together, and then there's going to be grandchildren. It's going to be very important because everybody's going to have an impression on it.
Yeah, man. And when I heard you talk about that last time, man, I did not think of it in that aspect.
No, that was deep.
Yeah, because if you think about we've all had relationships that didn't play out how we wanted them to, right?
Yeah.
And when you think about what really killed it, it wasn't really what we had going on in the crib. It was that plus everything else.
Yeah, that outside.
And giving everybody the court of public opinion. You understand what I'm saying? And when I hear that, I think what having a strong family dynamic means, is especially like your family strong, my family strong, but we able to make it through stuff, I think it helps our relationship become stronger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because all of those other people, I feel like, can bring us down. You know what I mean? And we don't think about that. And then even when you said, like, isolating ourselves, you know how many people do that? they get into a relationship and then they isolate themselves, and then when it's time for you to come out or y'all done with the relationship, you don't have anybody.
Yeah, exactly. Yup, you done cut everybody off. You done burn bridges. Really not even know you burn the bridges, but you ain't doing the same things that you used to. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I definitely understand that. I didn't expect the arranged marriages to take that
To
route.
go
yeah.
where he went with it, right?
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
expect
because
that
you
at
know
all.
the initial thought is, man, I'm gonna put my daughter with your son, and they ain't got
Yes.
no say.
Yes, that's what I was
No, but in reality, if you know, this kind of tie into one of the topics you guys are gonna be talking about in a few moments about being equally yoked. It is something powerful by having two families that have good value systems, and if you have a bonus of good morals, even if one family is more financially stable than the other, then yeah, I don't mind my son talking to a woman whose family may not have as much money as I do, because it's not all about that, and then vice versa. But if you happen to have your kids hook up with somebody and you're financially sound, Mel, you grinded and you don't put food on the table, and now you 45, 55 years old, you sending them off to school, and this guy, this young whippersnapper, this young buck, this Thundercat come through the door, talk about something, I want to date your son or your daughter, whoever it may be, then you're going to think about, okay, where did this cat come from?
Yeah.
Where did this young lady come from? Because I don't want them crying at me in the middle of the night, talk about something, how he did me wrong.
That's a fact.
You
yeah.
feel me?
Yeah, I
So
understand that.
that's just my 2 cents.
Nah, that makes sense though. That do make sense.
Yeah, like I say, when I heard him talk about it, I kind of knew where his mind was at when he said it, because he brushed over it a little bit. When he explains it like that, it gives you another dynamic of life, because you really got to be intentional who you shooting for. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
What we always say, oh, shoot a shoot. Shoot a shoot, you know what I mean? But you better be intentional on who you shooting at, man.
For real.
Because you never know what they finna bring to the table. You know, you never know what the people around them are gonna bring to the table. And if your support system ain't as big as theirs, man, you might get overran.
Mm-hmm.
And as a man, we don't want to feel like that, you know? And that's gonna lead into my next question, Mel. I asked you this question, right? My phone closed, I'm sorry. What's the man position in life in order to get the woman he wants? So what does he have to get that woman? Whatever he sees that woman is.
That almost got me. But
Stuck.
it
So what I'm looking at right now is, how much does a man have to make? And why am I looking at something like that? Because I feel like what we make determines our stature in life. If I make $15 an hour, that's probably, I'm gonna get me a $15 woman.
nah.
No?
Nah, I'm glad you said that, because I got an opposite view on that.
Okay.
Like, I don't think it's to get the woman that you want. I don't think it's how much you make. First, you got to know yourself. You got to be confident about what you're going for, and you got to know what you want. For one, cause I be real, the one that I'm with, it definitely ain't about the bread. Cause when we got together, I was down on my last.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, under.
Mm-hmm.
Still rock with me all the way through, help me out when I needed to. You know what I'm saying?
I was shocked she was rocking with you.
You feel me? So, like, it's like, dang. But it's definitely not, I don't feel it's the money aspect. I feel like if it would be the money aspect, and some guys who do have all the money, you're going to get the wrong female. Because you don't know if it's genuine or if they're there for what you can do for them.
See, but I think you're speaking from the mind frame of a good dude, because there's dudes out there that got money and they'll just throw it at the woman and then control her,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know, and what I like about what you said is, I never tell nobody how much I make. It's not your that's not your problem.
Yeah.
Whatever we have going on in here, if it's taken care of, then it's taken care of, right? What I make is not, because as soon as I tell you the dollar amount, you're going to start to either value me or devalue me or whatever's going to go in your mind. You know, but I'm also from that era where men didn't tell women how much they made, and women didn't ask that question. But you also didn't ask a woman how old she was either. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm still old school. I'm still floating on that line right there. So I like the fact that you said that, man, because I believe that shouldn't. And even if you go back to I forgot who was the chick, Ebony K. Williams, when she talked about the bus driver, he got to own the bus and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Like, if you really think about it, and Charlemagne the God, he made a good point, man. You know what I'm saying? When the world shut down, you got to think those people that you making fun of and you talk about, those were the essential workers. We needed them.
Facts.
feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, the
We
truck
need
driver,
that bus
all
driver,
that,
you know,
yeah.
whether he's owning the bus or driving it, you know. So what I look at is like, what is the position of the man and how is he going to take care of his, right? I never take on too much more than I can handle. So if I meet a girl and she got 6 kids, I'd be like, man, that's overwhelming. But what if I like her? Do I take the risk?
Take the risk.
You see what I'm saying? You take the risk because I believe, and we here in the sanctuary, I believe that God will work it out.
Because you just said it. He not gonna put too much on you that you can bear.
So obviously, if she coming at me with 6 kids, God, you see something I don't, so let me just go ahead and shoot if it's the right shot, right?
Yeah.
You better be shooting the right shot. Yeah.
How you feeling, Pastor?
I would just say that one's gonna rim out though. That one got rim out. So I'm gonna play angel's advocate for the moment.
Okay.
What's the end goal? Are we talk about boyfriend versus husband?
Okay.
Now, I'll proceed with caution because you're on video. I'm speaking from the context of somebody who's been married since he's been 24.
I will be real with you. Today's society, and I will include myself, we don't go in thinking about marriage. We go in thinking about right now and tomorrow. I don't even think we're looking past that, which is why I feel like sometimes we fall short in relationships, meaning they don't last long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like back in the day, you know, when you got with your wife, y'all became friends and then best friends, and then it progressed. And I can see it in the dynamics of how y'all move, right? People nowadays, I feel like we getting together to I'm shooting my shot today, and you my girlfriend next week. But the first argument we get into, we can't make it past it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where I'd be like, you know. But like I say, I'm on that cusp. I'm old school, but I see the new school, and a lot of people think I'm still young, so they approach me like that. And even I see with Mel, what I like about Mel though is Mel is very, 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 very intentional, right? Mel likes the aspect of love. You know, he likes the aspect of having that one. You know what I mean? So I see how Mel goes about, how he even integrates himself with women. You know what I mean? So now I can say that Mel goes in looking for marriage or looking for long term. You know what I mean? So like me, I'm not thinking like that. I'm thinking like, I just want it to work. You know what I mean? But maybe that's the wrong way to look at it. I don't know. What you feel, Mel?
Me, I like you right. You kind of hit that on the head, but I felt like it took a little while for me to get there. Cause at first it'd be like, oh, she cute.
Yeah.
Let me see what she about.
Mm-hmm.
And then one thing leads to another. You know what I mean? And all right, we go out now. You know what I'm saying? But at this point in my life, it's like I need somebody that's gonna really rock with me. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't getting no younger, so we gonna have to go through the ringer with this one. We, like you said, a little argument or whatever, and then you don't know how to communicate or whatever. So
Yeah.
you just lashing out. But
Yeah.
nah, I need to, let's sit down and talk. Like, matter of fact, I feel like the reason why I'm here, I've matured, and I actually, everything that you had said, as in the slight arguments and stuff, like I did that.
Yeah.
And now you got to move different. You know what I'm saying? You got to move differently now. You older, you more mature. You got to move different. Them little argument, petty stuff like that don't work. That don't matter tomorrow. It shouldn't matter tomorrow. I know we bring all them conversations over to the next day, or we can feel some type of way from the next day. But I'm on, even for you, yo, let me know when you get home. What happens if you don't make it home?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
And you
saying?
be big
And
on that.
yeah, now you harboring that. Matter of fact, we got a friend.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I just talked to you, dog. Like,
So here's a question in the mix. Have you ever gotten into a situation where, you know, nowadays I see some women saying, hey, well, I'm going to shoot my shot. We in a relationship. And then they have the conversation. They say, Amir, Mel, have you ever thought about getting married? We've been together for a hot minute now. I'm not saying y'all have to answer that
yeah.
because it's a loaded question, but if you know you're going to do life with somebody and things of that nature, it's definitely something to consider, because you do have two schools of thought. You have some people who believe that marriage is just a piece of paper,
Yeah.
and then you have the other school of thought, which is, you know, I don't want to end up like DC Young Fly's old girl,
Yeah, Jackie O.
Tough.
that we got kids together, but she's no longer on the planet, and they're not married. So as far as what I understand, and now there's no insurance money, no benefits
Yeah.
for the kids.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because
even
marriage
think that
is a
far.
business. It is, and it's also spiritual, and it's also love as well. So, how y'all feel about that? Not in your own personal situation, but just in your generation and as a whole.
I'll let you answer that one first.
I was about to say the same
I see the
thing.
finger pointing.
I
I
was
see
about
the
to say
finger
the
pointing.
same
Dog.
thing.
I got you first though.
All right. I'll say this, right? A lot of the women that I'm meeting nowadays, they come in already feeling like they should be a wife. So every movement should be going towards that, which means that relationships do move a lot faster. I believe that I think when you find the right one, and ain't no telling when you're gonna know, right? But if you guys are meshing well, then you should move towards that. Because, and I'll say this, the older we get, the more you want to wake up to your companion, And I'll say that as a grown man, like, I'm at that age to where going out and trying to shoot my shot, it's silly. You know what I'm saying? It's silly. Because I'm gonna tell you why. I ain't shooting like Steph Curry.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm shooting like Shaq at the 3-point line. You feel me?
That's wild.
And you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, man. And when you find that right chick, man, she's not really trying to play. These women ain't trying to play no more. And the older they get, the more that's what they want. And I'm down for that, because the more and more I'm around the men in this church, and I'm around the pastor, and I see how his family dynamics move. As a man, that's what you want. You want somebody that's gonna support you, somebody that's gonna be there for you, somebody that's gonna know you. You know when you about to tick, and know how to calm you down, know how to lift you up, all that. So I would say definitely, man, if you find that right one and is willing, you should definitely be moving towards something. You got to move towards something. Like, even if it's not marriage, you got to be moving towards something. You know what I mean? What you thinking?
Yeah, I'm with you all the way.
Yeah.
You got to move towards something. Especially our age, like you said. With me, I have to, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to elevate, dog. Like,
Yeah.
And
See, you look at it differently.
yeah, man, I got it. And I didn't, until Pastor said it, the marriage about putting a business in it. Marriage is a business. I never looked at it like that. You know what I mean? And like you said, with their insurance and all that other stuff,
Yeah,
marriage is
I
really
didn't
a
know about
business.
that.
It's really a business.
I didn't know about that.
But I will be looking towards marriage and stuff like that. I have seen it not work, you know what I mean, in certain places, and I have seen it work in certain places. I have seen it where it ain't working, but they still together type
They
deal, you
still
know what I mean?
together,
But I feel like you got to work towards that. Like, it's always, like you say, it's always an end goal.
It's the end
You know
goal.
what I'm saying? And for
There's a
me,
motive.
that end goal is, I'm happy getting off of work and coming home to my lady, dog.
Yeah.
That's
You know what
awesome.
I'm saying? I'm happy waking up and seeing her, just being playful and all of that, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
we intermingle in the family and stuff like that, you feel me? So,
Yeah.
yeah, it come with a lot of responsibility.
Do
know
you
what I
do
mean?
you feel like past trauma gets in y'all way?
That's a fact, yeah. Word. Because I don't feel like I haven't let go some things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not consciously. It'd be like a subconscious thing, and then she'll say something that somebody else has had said or whatever, or do it like somebody else had did, and I'm just like, it tick me off. It's triggering. It gets triggers. You know what I mean?
Because
and
you
then
feel like I've been here before.
yeah, bro, and don't like that feeling. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, when you're in that, I've been here before. Like when you're in it the first time, it's like, yo, I don't want to do that no more. And then you get there again, it's like, yo, I said I ain't want to do that no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm back in. It's
Yeah.
like, how did I get here? You know what I mean? I do have some ways of my own where I need to work on. Like, I'm impatient in certain aspects. You know what I mean? I can be patient in certain aspects, and I'm impatient with other things. But I've also had time to be by myself and got used to doing things by myself
Yeah.
that sometimes I ain't no team player. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And you got to be a team player, but I ain't no team player. But yeah, that's how I feel about it.
See,
I
that's
think
a,
that's awesome, man. I think that's really good. One bit of I'm gonna shoot I'm gonna throw a what I call a bonus bonus to this. My advice to any young man or any young lady that's out there, especially if you have the Lord as the center of your life, or you're considering hooking up with somebody that is that has God in their lives, to get premarital counseling.
Yeah.
It's okay for you to go to a therapist, a marriage therapist, a pastor, somebody that you trust that has a proven track record to help you unravel some of the things that you're going to be dealing with in your marriage before you jump all in. Because
Yeah.
like I said, marriage is a business. It's a legacy that can affect 80 years worth of your bloodline plus.
And I feel like to piggyback off of that, like my mom, she's a counselor, she does that. Go ahead and get counseling before it get hard. You know what I mean? Before you have problems, go ahead and get your counseling. Because you already know you need it.
Yeah.
Everybody has their triggering moments. Nobody gonna come into the relationship just giving you their everything, their deep dark secrets and all of that. It's something they gotta let out.
Yeah.
And that's a
That's
time
wisdom,
consuming
man.
thing. So
And I really applaud you, Mel, because, you know, speaking from the background,
Dr. Dre in the back.
yeah, it's really good. And I also can tell that you got great self-awareness. Because as a man, I could tell you when I was in my early 20s and even mid, and even partly, I was telling Boogie the other day that I didn't really feel comfortable with who I was until I was 35.
yeah.
And that self-awareness is very important, because when you start tripping, if you're not used to looking at that mirror, then you're always going to expect for the other person to check you. And then you're going to blow up if they start checking you, because you're not really aware that you're tripping at that moment in time.
Yeah.
So as a man, if there's anybody that should go to counseling first, it should be us, because usually we're the last ones. And then our wives would be like, you know what? We need to make those adjustments. I need to work on myself, and you should always do. You know what I recommend? Every 7 years, you should go to counseling.
Yeah.
Even for just maintenance and checkup. We do maintenance and checkup on our cars, and ain't nothing wrong with it, so we think.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's good to do a maintenance
On
update
ourselves.
to make sure you're going on the right path.
Yeah.
I
and
like
you,
that.
If you want to make it last forever.
and you know, just I swear, just even listening to y'all, and Mel can contest, I don't have no self-awareness yet. Cause you know why? Like, I'll still fly off the handle, right? And even if you trying to check me in the moment, I might still get mad and lash out. You know what I mean? Because you know why though? And I tell you why, Pastor. I've always been in a position to where, and I tell Mel that I struggle with that. When I came down here and everything I was doing, I was put in a position to where I'm always the leader, or everybody's always looking up. So everybody was always saying yes or okaying what I did. And I realized how it hurt me in the long run, because when Mel came along, Mel would sit there and be like, nah, bro, we ain't doing that. And I'd be like, "Argh," you know what I'm saying? But then I have to, it just got to certain points when, you know, me and Mel, we've been through stuff. So it's like, I got to trust his judgment at this point. And the older we get, the more I tell him, I'm like, bro, if that's what you want to do, then I'm going to ride with you. You know what I mean? Like, I have faith in him on that point. And to tie that into what we're talking about, I think as men, one, we got to show our women that. Because a lot of times, women will question your thought process.
Yeah.
And if it don't make sense, especially like with black women, if it don't make sense, they finna tell you that it don't make sense. And why am I finna follow you when nothing you said makes sense? And then as a man, that's an ego blow right there.
That hurt. Yeah, that
You know
hurt.
what I mean? So like, even we talk about leading the youth and leading this and leading that, right? But how are you leading your home? And how are you leading that woman that you want to pour into you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why, like, I love about your relationship, because it's obviously, if she gonna do that for you, you're leading in the right way.
I'm trying, bro.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm
You're
trying.
leading in the right way,
You know
man.
what I mean? I'm trying to do the right things. Slip up here and there, you know what I mean? But it's all for the greater good. It's gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let me ask both of y'all this question, right? Since y'all some lovebirds over here, right?
Get on board, dog.
Hey, I'm there. I'm trying, dog. I'm trying. I'm shooting my shots out here. Pow, pow, pow. Listen,
Westbrook.
do men? Nah. I was like, nah, slid that in there, man. Okay. Do we need instructions? Do we need instructions on how to be in this relationship? On
Yes.
how to love your woman?
Yes.
On how to, baby, I didn't know you wanted me to take the garbage out on Tuesdays and Thursdays, because that's when the garbage man run.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't know when I get home you want me to take the garbage in and put it on the thing, so you ain't got to do. Like, do we need instructions?
Yeah, we do.
Why
And
though? Like because I know why I do. Why?
I honestly just feel like that's how we are ingrained. Like we need to be told to do things like a step by step by step. You know what I mean? And when I was younger, I'm like, nah, that ain't how it is. But yeah, that's how it is. Even being in the military, like they gonna tell you to do it, and that's just what you do. It ain't no, you ain't skipping no steps. You know what I mean? Go outside and mop the rain up until it stops. You know what I'm saying? Like you going out there and mopping the rain up, man. Making sure that concrete ain't getting wet. But you know what I mean? You know that you're not gonna be able to do it, but that's what they just told you to do. So you know what I mean? Like, but yes, we need instructions in our relationship and life. It's just the move on your everyday. You need instructions, and it's just not from your lady or whatever. It's actually in the Bible. That's what it's instructions.
It's basic
how you
instructions.
move. You know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely feel like we need instructions, and sometimes we need to. Not sometimes, all the time. We need to heed to those instructions that we getting, because it'll help alleviate some pain and consequences. So.
Yeah, I think the instruction things is important, but I don't know. I like the word instructions, but I like communication even more.
Yes.
Because you basically instructing each other, especially as a man, you're really, oftentimes you're in the role of a teacher.
Yeah.
Whether it's in intimacy and with each other, you teach each other, right? Who you are. Because, as one gentleman said, our spouses or spouses to be are a full-length mirror of who we are. And you have to be ready to be exposed like that. Your good side, your bad side, and everything, and you have to be strong enough to be able to hold up the mirror and also to look in it. Hold up the mirror for the other person, to check them if they're right or wrong, and also to be, or have that mirror to be held up to you as well.
Yeah.
And it's truly a process, but I think with many brothers, if you don't have that blueprint as to what it means to be a husband, like, for example, husband life, what is that like? If you didn't have that model before you and you didn't really see that move, then you're going to look to the woman to give you instructions on how to be a good husband when she really don't know.
She don't know.
She can't really answer that. She can only look based on what she saw in her family, but if she didn't have a dad that was there, then she gonna be at a loss too, and then y'all gonna be going at each other.
Yeah.
So that's why mentors are so important, and that's why you look at people who have good relationships. Even at this stage in my life right now, as we close, I'm looking at marriage videos just to make sure that I stay on point, that I communicate better, especially as I go into this season of empty nest.
Yeah.
Because now Lady Martin and I, we're in our late 40s, and we met in our early 20s. So what's it going to be like now that the kids are gone and that wonderful quote-unquote distraction is no longer there? Can we make it for the next 50? You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's really important to not only start good but also to finish strong. So I really commend you, brothers.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it, yeah. And I like how he put, when the kids is gone, like, those distractions are gone. You know what I'm saying? Because it just took me back to COVID for a minute. It wasn't when there wasn't no distractions and you had to stay in the house with that person
Yeah.
all day.
Mhm.
So, like, the divorce rate went up.
It went up.
Like,
Some people ain't make it
so,
through.
Yeah, that makes sense. It make a lot of sense at that point.
Yeah, man, and it was something you said during church on Sunday when you was talking about, you got to celebrate the time that we met, anniversaries, birthdays, even she just thinking that I need to be celebrated, I need to celebrate them. And if you got the chips, come up off the chips, right? Like straight up, don't even hold it. You got the chips, right?
Yeah.
Just go spend it. You feel me?
Facts, yeah.
But it's the value. It's the value, right? Because in my last relationship, she showed me the value of gift giving, right? And that's what he was talking about with his wife, right?
I had to learn it too. I didn't
know.
I didn't know either. I grew up in a household to where my mom was the giver, but my dad was like, I don't really need much.
Mhm.
But she would
Yeah.
still do it anyway. And then when Lady Martin did it with me, I was feeling awkward because I was like, what is this? You
Yeah.
giving me stuff for my birthday? I don't need nothing for my birthday. I'm a man.
You feel me?
But then as I got older and I started crying a little bit more easy now, that's like I could be a water bag. It's terrible, but it's good. But to receive love is important.
Yeah, you said that to me the other day too.
Men have to receive that love, man. That's what women are gifted to do. And then we're gifted to, the women are the receiver, but men are the givers. But then it also has to reciprocate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so here's a crazy curveball. Since we talking about this, right? And we talking
5 minutes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, let's get it. Let's get it.
Bonus round.
Oh, all right. So you know what? Let's
go hard.
All right, let's do this. Because I want to get your opinion on this, right? We was looking at a clip, and it's the pastor that was cussing in the pulpit.
Oh, Lord.
You know what I'm saying?
What
This-
the beep?
Yeah, man. And like I was telling Mel, I said, man, his perspective on it, man, he was just saying, we look at these words on the outside and we don't really care about it, but then in here it means something. How you feel about that? And he said it right there
All
on
right.
the pulpit.
Somebody throw a flag. Who got the flag on the? Okay, just
Throw
throw a
that
flag
flag,
and throw a
throw
flag
that.
on the play.
Flag on the play, dog.
Mel said flag on the play. So, I don't know what's happening out here on these streets right now, man. And let me get up. All right, so let me come over here with y'all. All right. Coming to y'all living room just for a moment.
Appreciate you.
All right.
You always
So I come over here to the side right now, right? So, first of all, many people in the church had their moments, right?
Yeah.
I remember I was telling the men something I learned that you get like 3 cuss words a year. And they have to be biblical, right? I don't need to tell you what those are, but you could pretty much find out what they are, right? And so I've had confrontations where I've used up my 3, even as a pastor, right? But not in the pulpit. But sometimes things come out and they shouldn't, and then you have to go before God. You got to repent of it. But there's a difference. You should have enough self-control not to do that in the house of the Lord.
Yeah.
When you're in your private circles, just like me even saying that has happened over the years, when the pressure got really great when I was coming from out of Chapter 13 bankruptcy, back in the early 2010s, that was pressure. 90% of your income being taken, and then dealing with stuff and foreclosures and going through job stuff. All that stuff was happening as a pastor, and I had to let a couple rip. I'm just keeping it real with you. That was a vulnerable moment, but then I had to go to God and I had to say, God, I'm better than that. But you understand, and then the best way that you show a change of behavior, what really indicates a change in behavior is that you don't do it again.
Yeah.
Or you make concessions for it and then you move forward. That is one context. The other context is when you're in front of everybody and then you're trying to relate to the wrong people.
Yeah.
When people come to the house of the Lord, they're trying to change their lives. They're not trying to get an example of what their current life is like.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of Christians, believers, people who love the Lord that cuss up a storm,
Yeah.
right? And sometimes people give justifications for it because they'll say, well, a real cuss word, is that's just how you feel, but how you feel could get in trouble because it's really, the reason why it's sinful is because it just shows us a lack of self-control.
Yeah.
You can express yourself and you can share your frustration without having to do that. And so even inside the Bible, it says, you should stay away from like profane things.
Mm-hmm.
You can vent your frustration in different ways, right? So as a person who's in the congregation, they're held at a different standard than somebody like myself. Like somebody like myself, you're not going to hear me use any 4-letter words and things like that. Now, I'll talk about hell. I can say, well, if you're not in trouble, then your soul can be damned, things like that, but not GD.
Yeah.
These people are getting on my nerves. You don't need to say all of that. But there's an audience for that.
Yeah.
And the audience for that is carnal Christian. A carnal Christian is somebody who grew up in church but ain't saved. They still act like the world, but they got the label of a Christian, but they're not transformed internally. And so when you have a preacher, a lot of times the preachers ain't saved neither. They just went up there because grandma said that they could preach when they were young.
Yeah.
And so now you got this person who ain't saved talking to other people who ain't saved. And Jesus, in closing, talked about this. He said, you brood of vipers, you cross land and sea to win one proselyte or scab, but in so doing you make them twice the son of hell. The Pharisees were people who were the religious elect but weren't saved. And they were relating to other people who were not saved, and they won them over, but then when they see the darkness behind closed doors, they make the people who they're talking to twice as bad as they were when they first met them.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because you're not being a good example. And the scripture says that men of God, women of God who are in leadership will be held at a higher standard, and the judgment will be strict. Because I'm sure that you guys probably saw a whole bunch of preachers die the last 5 to 10 years, committing suicide, dying in the pulpit, situation with Eddie Long. God ain't playing with men and women of God. And I'm not saying he's killing people, but I'm not saying that ain't too far out of his range either.
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to be his mouthpiece. If your life jacked up and you trying to get it together, why are you trying to listen to this man whose life is jacked up and he's crying, talking about drinking, smoking right there out of the parking lot, all this other stuff, and it's not, and it's constant.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because y'all probably done seen some of everything, right? Probably done seen some of everything. Be like, man, see, that's the reason why I don't go to church.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, man, being around you, you expose the real and the fake. And when I'm out, because you know, I be in the trenches, like you say, and when I'm out, I see it. And then it's like some of these people that are like, man, y'all out here, you literally trying to give somebody the word, trying to change somebody's life, but your life is not even there. You know what I mean? Which makes it hard for me to give advice because I always feel like I can't give you advice like on marriage. I can't give you advice on marriage. I'm not married. You know what I mean? I can give you advice on hair. I can tell you how to do some hair real quick.
However, we're living in a generation now where people like to shoot the messenger. And I had to kind of change my perspective on that. You may not be married, but you know what's right from wrong.
I know what's right from
Yeah.
wrong.
You know that that if you see me, and you know what my wife, you know met my wife, if you see me out there in Publix, over there in Ocoee at 1 a.m. in the morning at Walmart, and you just happen to walk through because you're trying to get some chickpeas and some potatoes, and you see another Redbone, and you know my wife is chocolate as these chairs, right? And you see me holding hand in hand, you're going to be like, what's up? Or you're not going to say nothing, and it'll be a level of disappointment internally, and then you say, Boogie, your pastor tripping. It's not good, and so you always want to conduct yourself as if you're going to be exposed at any moment.
Yeah.
And God always, in closing, He always tries to help us to fall privately.
Conduct yourself as you being exposed at any moment. That's deep.
Bro, it's real.
Yeah.
Because you know why, man? We in the world of where people be like this.
Oh, and you don't even know.
You don't even know you're getting
know.
exposed.
You don't even know.
We didn't. We getting exposed right now. Right before we started the thing, say, be careful what you say. It's live. But, you know, today was a good day, man. We got a new setup in here today. As you can see, Dr. Drez, he's more in the background, producing the show, leading us to greatness. You know, Melly Mel's here. He going to be more front and center.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, I'm your neighborhood friend, man. They call me Boogie, Ben, Amir. You can call me the guy with the dreads. You
I
feel
like
me?
Amir.
You like,
Yeah.
I don't feel like you should call me Amir, dog.
Well, you already said I could, so.
All right. You can call me Shamelvin.
Shamel.
Shamelvin. So, you know, today was a good day, man. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. And the topic, well, you know, Mel, what's the moral of the story?
Moral of the story is, I don't know, dog. Pastor, what's the moral of the story, Pastor?
You can't ask him. He asked you.
I know, but
What's the moral of the story?
he
Pastor?
said ask for help when you need it, right?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
right. You
I
right.
think for the theme for today is that it's good for a man to be transparent about his thoughts, and
You know what I'm saying?
it's good to be goal oriented, and it's also good for a man to be thinking about marriage and settling down and being aware of who he is.
And having instructions.
Come on now, shoot or shoot. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
Soul Therapy Live, baby. We're gonna see y'all next month, baby.
All right, we out.
Uh-oh,
Yeah.
Jamari running, y'all. Y'all should
He
see
running.
it. It's funny.
I thought that you having a church fit. We don't do that. See you.
Yeah.